Does anyone in here know how much a polar bear weighs? Enough to break the ice. Hi, I'm Nicole Bixler. Riley told me not to do that. I'm Nicole Bixler. I was this summer's Human Resources intern, and let me tell you about myself. So I'm a senior at Ball State University. My major is public communications, and I'm triple minoring in interpersonal relations, psychology of human development, and sociology, so people, pretty much. And I'm an avid dog lover. And I know some of you guys are like, oh, I love dogs. No, like, I love dogs. And then that's me in the top right working at my kennel. It's called 5 Points Inc. So I don't know if anyone takes your pups there, but those are my fur babies. And the big Great Dane sitting on my lap, his name's Rudy. I have to put sunscreen on him when he's outside. So cute. And I'd like to consider myself The Office's #1 fan. And then for those of you who have seen the show, people, like, I'll be talking to them and say, oh, like, I really want to go into HR. And they're like, oh, so you're going to be a Toby. That's always fun. And then after college, I'm really hoping to move to Arizona. My sophomore year, spring break in college, I went to like Tempe, Scottsdale area, and it was beautiful. I fell in love, and we went on hikes with all those beautiful views, so yeah, that's the goal. Then summer project-wise, I worked a lot with surveys, as you can see. TNS survey results, Indeed.com, workplace behavior survey, and LEAD, exploring leadership surveys, the administration of that. So first, TNS, I'm sure most of you in here know what that is, but for those of you who don't, it's an organizational survey that focuses on identifying a business's strengths and weaknesses. And it compares satisfaction and engagement within E&H globally. So as a company that's open to feedback, what I did was just tie the results of TNS with some of our past surveys, which you've seen here. And it just clearly defines the areas where we've grown and where we need to continue to grow. Indeed.com, this one was fun, Miss Sarah. So it's the world's #1 job site. You can search for jobs, post resumes, research companies, and I actually was doing a little research before I worked here on Endress, and the page was pretty outdated, but I mean, it worked. I'm here. But then a project for me this summer was I actually got to update it, which was awesome. So I updated our why join us section, added pictures of the lobby, our workout room, our cafe, front of the buildings, and then links to CCEF, our rotational engineer program, stuff like that. And then some of you may have received email asking if you could put a review on our page. And so it's awesome because we started out with a 3.3, and now that's not even updated. We're at 4.5 now. So thank you for all who left reviews because you did make a huge impact. And then basically, I just think now that it's updated, it really does give a better insight to E&H for the potential candidates using Indeed to look at it. Workplace behavior survey. So Brandon Ferguson, Amanda Parkhurst, and an outside vendor and I. So the point of the survey was to see if a colleague or colleagues were to experience direct or indirect behavior that's just not inconsistent with our culture and values. And so why we're doing this is because we're committed to all employees feeling safe, valued, and productive here. And we just want to remind everyone of our company's expectations about how to treat one another. And this is still kind of in the process of being approved by the outside vendor. But once it gets distributed, based on the results, we'll take the next steps needed to understand, intervene, and address the situations appropriately. LEAD, which is actually going on over there, so that's good. So I work with the wonderful Matt Chikowski. I don't know if you can hear me. And so what's going on is LEAD, which stands for Leader Education and Development, and then he's trying to help people utilize self-reflection to help leaders understand their underlying assumptions. And so his part in it was him and Terry Schindler, his assistant, or his partner, they did a lot of face-to-face interviews, and then my part in this was the survey administration. And so that included 3 parts: personal definition of leadership, leadership statements, and leadership images. And so for those of you who were so blessed to be in a session of mine in person. I'm sure you never want to hear, "You now have 5 seconds to rate the leadership image." I am now moving on to the next picture 20 times again. So summer experiences: Women in Leadership event, JCCF Giving Day 2018, and being the intern lead coordinator. So this was an awesome day. The Greenwood Chamber of Commerce hosted a Women in Leadership event, and breakfast, it was so good. And then we had a speaker named Jody Curtis, and her main thing with her talk was just how big of an impact your attitude that you bring to the workplace really does not only affect you, but like other employees around you and just the entire culture as a whole. So that was very cool to hear her talk. And so I went with Virginia, Melody, and sweet Tony. Speaking of Tony, have you had her peppers? Because I have on Monday, and yeah, so I tried it. I was like, this is nothing. Then I tried. I still don't think I can really taste anything right. So stop by our desk if you want to try it. Oh, this was a fun one. Okay. Johnson County Community Foundation Giving Day was her first one. Basically, a bunch of businesses all came together, and it was a day of giving, as in 24 hours. And I think, what was my shift? Like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., something like that. So it was a long day, but I started out basically being Delonte's little camera caddy, just carrying stuff around. And then, if you ask him about it, he'll say I'm a great golf cart driver. So, and then our booth, we had a dunk tank, which was a lot of fun working. You can see my face, pretty sure it's Chris Flowers getting dunked. But by the end of the night, I was soaked head to toe, covered in mud, sweating way more than I should have been. But it was just so much fun seeing the little kids' faces light up, like when people would fall and stuff. And I think we ended up raising $135,000, right? So that was a lot of fun. So another office for reference. So intern lead coordinator, what I did was kind of like weekly lunches. We'd all try to get together on Thursdays usually when we could. And I did intern touch bases. And I sat individually with each of them and then just kind of asked questions like, oh, do you like it so far? Would you change anything? Do you like your projects? Stuff like that. And so I wanted to take this moment because I think, or the way I describe the interns here is the way Dwight describes himself. They are determined workers, intense, good workers, hard workers, and they're just terrific. And each and every one of you, I know you're going places, and you guys are just awesome. I love you guys. Get a little snappy here. All right, so what I learned, as a comm major, obviously I take comm classes, but applying what I learned in the book in the workforce world, it's cool. Talking in meetings, just face to face in the office. It's cool to just apply what I learned. And then I learned very quickly, don't be afraid to ask questions. I remember one of my first meetings with the whole HR team, you guys were throwing out rotationals and just so many words. And I was just like, what? And so I went back to my desk after that meeting and was like, what are these things? I'm trying to Google it. And then the next meeting I was like, all right guys, please just tell me. And so definitely learned it's okay to ask questions. And then they answered my millions of questions I probably asked, and they were very happy to. Another thing I learned that when decisions are being made, the best interests of the organization and employees you have to keep in mind. And whether it be something that looks so small from the outside, but everyone that worked on that small thing, it took meetings and countless emails and everyone's mind just being put together to come up with this one thing. And the end goal is just keeping the best interests of the organization and employees in mind. Okay. And then the importance of feedback. That kind of speaks for itself, I'd say, but with all these surveys, I learned that it is cool to see what we do with the feedback, because we really do care. The power of collaboration. So I've done a lot of meetings with just one-on-one or all of us in a group, but my favorite thing is when all of the HR people get together, because everyone's bouncing ideas off of each other, and then by the end, we usually come up with just this nice, well put together, shiny little idea, just from using all of our ideas. And I don't know, I think it's very cool. Then finally, HR is not the bad guys, as portrayed, like movies, shows, all that. They are superheroes. That's not me sucking up, I only have a week here left, it's true. But actually, I was reading this little thing from our website, and it says, as an intern at Endress and Hauser, we want you to truly become a part of our team while here. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But not even kidding, there has not been a single day here I felt like an intern. Because these people, I was a part of the team, and it was awesome. And I may have to cry. But seriously, you guys are awesome. And I just took like so much insight, like you guys just helped me a lot, and you just pretty much confirmed that HR is what I want to do, and I'll miss all like our laughs from getting distracted in our WIG meetings and all that stuff, but yeah, you guys are seriously just awesome.
Are we awesome enough to keep you from going to Arizona? That was for Mom.
So, my last day at E&H as an intern is August 10th. And then I'll probably just spend all next week working on the records room, tackling that. Bad boy. And then Jonathan, I just want to apologize. Any questions?